Hello everybody, welcome to Dude with a Fork. My name is Ken. On today's episode of Ken Dries Stuff, I am drying some green onion tops. Now, in normal times, I just go to the grocery store on a regular basis to buy fresh vegetables, but things aren't normal right now and I try to avoid spending a lot of time at the grocery store. So, I am drying green onion tops. I buy a whole bunch at once. I chop up the bottoms and freeze them, and then I dehydrate the tops. They dry really fast. They dry really great. They have a lot of uses in soups and salads, and you can put them in stuffing and all sorts of stuff. So, and if you're going to cook anything, they work really well in that too. Also, if you are interested in learning how to dehydrate foods, onions and peppers are really the easiest things because you don't have to blanch them, and for the most part, they dry really quickly. So this is the one thing that will dry the quickest. So if you are looking for instant gratification, if you are new to the world of dehydrating food, green onion tops is the way to go. So let's get started. Okay, so I'm going to show you how I dry green onions in my food dehydrator. This is a Nesco American Harvest food dehydrator. I've had it for a couple of years. It's pretty simple to use. I'm going to show you a trick that makes some things easier though. So what I have here, there are a couple of these little plastic things that hold this all together. And pop those off. And the only working bit in here is this. There's a fan up in here and a heater unit, and it blows air all the way through these, or warm air all the way through these trays. And as you can see, these trays are just lightweight plastic with a lot of holes in them. The trick that I use with a lot of things is I'll take a piece of parchment paper, fold it into half, fourth, eighth, 16th, I think, and cut it so that it fits inside this tray. And you can dry certain things that get really small on the parchment paper without any problem. So I'm going to do, I've done some of these green onions already. I'm probably going to do two layers worth. You need at least 4 of these trays. I think you can add up to a total of 8. I don't know, I haven't bought any additional ones. I don't dry a lot of stuff that often, but and when I do, I find that 4 works just fine. So I'm going to go chop up some green onions, and we'll get them on these trays, get everything together, and I'll show you what things look like after a bit. Okay, so after I sliced all my green onions, I realized I'm probably going to need a 3rd tray. So I'll show you what I did here. I have a square of parchment paper that I folded in half, fourth, eighth, 16th. And I'm just going to kind of eyeball this here, cut that little bit off, and then eyeball this. And we'll see how close I get. It's a little big, so I'll trim a little bit off. And here's the trick. How do you fold this up so that it was the way it was before? Yeah. Good question. You know, you would think I would have been paying attention to that, but no. Okay, here we go. There it is. Alright, if you look at a road map long enough, it folds itself. Famous Chinese proverb, I think. I don't know. Okay, that's a little bit better. So I'm going to get rid of all this and grab my green onions. And normally when you dehydrate food, you don't want anything touching. Any place that it touches is a place where water cannot evaporate out of it, but to be honest with you, green onions dry in about an hour and a half, 2 hours, and they're going to shrink up. So I'm just going to get a whole bunch on here and just spread them out the best I can, and they will shrink up fast enough that they won't be touching by the time this is all said and done. So there's the first bunch, and if I see some blank spots, I'll fill that in. And some people may be wondering, do these things really hang on to a lot of their flavor after they're dried, and well, kind of. I think they come out best in cooked dishes. Nothing's stopping you from putting them on a salad. I really just like them as a little pop of color in soups and stuff. So, and this is great, like I said, when you go to Aldi and you buy a big bunch of green onions and you can't use them all at once. You can freeze them. I will freeze the bottoms. Onions are one of those items that you do not need to blanch. So I am going to, I don't have that many left, so we'll put them over here. And I honestly, with some things, I would get really fussy about this, but you know, these are green onions. They are going to dry quickly enough. So okay, so I am going to put the lid on now, and then I'm going to put the, I don't know what these are called, the holders, I guess. This bit, the pointed bit, goes over the bottom, and there are little grooves cut in the lid here that hold this. When you hear it snap, you know it's all put together. And I am actually going to go put this in the other room and run it because I've got some more editing to do, and this does get kind of loud. And we're back. Our green onions are dried. You can tell because if you lift up the parchment paper, they kind of rattle, and then they roll to the layers down below. So this is actually the challenge, is getting these things off of here and into a container. So what I like to do is, ouch, slide that over, get a bowl. You might recognize this bowl from my Aldi haul. And then I just set this here and just try to brush all of these gently into the center. You're inevitably going to spill a few, but you get the vast majority of them in the bowl this way. These food dehydrators are great, by the way, if you're dehydrating larger things like tomato slices, but they work pretty well for smaller things like this. Alright, just a few there. So I am going to go ahead and get the rest of this on here as best I can. Well, yeah, you see how it goes. So this is why you got to hang on to that sheet of parchment paper. So I'm going to stop the camera. I'll get all these in a bowl and then show you what I do with them. Hang on. Okay, so as you can see here, I've got probably a cup and a half. If you listen to the sound, they are nice and dry. And again, I will use these in things like soups, any place I want to add a little dash of color and just the smallest amount of onion flavor, because they do fade a little bit in flavor. So I'm going to back this off just a little bit, and I just have an extra jar sitting around and a funnel, and you know how good I am at pouring things, so let's see how this goes. Oh, okay, pretty good. So funnels work. So I keep dehydrated food in a jar like this. I've got this dry and dry desiccant silica gel that keeps it nice and dry. I'll just throw that in there. I buy this in bulk from Amazon. I bought, I don't know how many packets are in here, 50. So, and I haven't even begun to get into them. And the nice thing about these is that the color changes as that absorbs moisture, and then you can just pop them back in the oven and dry them out again. So you can use these almost forever. So, but that's it. Dehydrated green onion tops. I've got a bunch of bottoms. I'll make some dishes with those or freeze them. Thanks for watching. Talk to you later.